You just got to talk to them and see how much you're going to charge. Because they can get pricey.
Yeah.
But if you want a good spirit box, you pay the money. But SB don't get me wrong. SB7s are great, and some of the spirit boxes you can buy to the stores are great. They can still be valid. But I like the boxes that he uses. He'll be at Paracon in 2019 actually, and we'll probably have him do a spirit box session.
Oh, wonderful.
September 28th.
September 28th. And if you're a new listener, yes, you will hear all about Paracon. This year's theme, ironically enough, is actually Bigfoot. And it wasn't planned that way. We planned that last year, that this should be the year of Bigfoot. And, well, here we are, 2019, and we're actually planning more Bigfoot expeditions. And that wasn't planned. But we are in the heart of Bigfoot territory. I've got Bigfoot in my backyard. I've heard tree knocks standing outside of my porch. We have a gifting site. So you want to hear Bigfoot? We can. And I got to give a shout out real quick. Joe Monk, the master of pointy sticks, is in our chat room. How you doing tonight, Joe?
All right, Joe. Eric, and Megan also could help us with this as well. I know that there's probably some listeners out there that have no clue what a spirit box is and how it works. Maybe we could explain what that is.
Oh, God, I can't give you the specifics of them. Think of the movie White Noise. And some of the common apps, let's talk about that for a sec, too, because apps, any tool can be manipulated by the paranormal. I'm going to put that out just right away. What you do is you vet it. If you're investigating somebody's private home, look up the research the history of the location. If you come up with the name Jane in history, and all of a sudden you have a spirit box app and the voice says, "This is Jane." Well, you just vetted, your equipment, and it's probably Jane that's causing the problems in the home. She needs to be passed over. That's just one example. We had a case in Oak Harbor. It's a prime example of how this team works and how this team vets its team members. Whereas we had a client that was talking about problems in the home. Strange noises. They had things moving around. They had issues. Well, first you send the medium through. Our medium went through. She came back and said, it's kind of weird. I don't feel it there right now, but there is a presence, but it was running. Next thing, in the meantime, I'm talking to the client. I sent our other techie through with an EMF meter. Well, EMF came back higher than the norm. It was probably about 80 to 90. But towards the attic, it was hitting towards 140. So your average baseline environment is usually right around 50. It depends on which EMF you're using. So we came back. I called the astral team. The astral team, I told them to go check out the attic because the client said there was nothing in the attic. He's never been up there. There's no electronics. There's nothing that's going to affect EMF. So astral team went in. We'll talk about astral a whole other show. I'm not going to get astral this show. We're already 45 minutes in. But basically, astral is our team can travel globally within minutes, basically out of body. I'll leave it at that for now.
Sorry.
That's all right. But the astral team went in, and they came back and said, I don't know how to describe this creature, but it looks like a very large ape, and it's got fangs. What do we do? I told them to remove it. So they removed this being, destroyed it. We went back through. All baseline EMF was right back to normal. The medium went through. Everything was clear. Client went through. We haven't had a problem since. Perfect example of how you can use technology to validate. Your astral team validates. Your medium validates. Once everything's cleared out, all your technology is right back to normal. That would be a perfect prime case right there where you validate your technology, your medium, your astral, and the client's happy. That's the main thing. And we see this on this team all the time. All right. Any other questions?
Okay, so I was just going to talk about my spirit box for a second.
Right, okay.
So I do have the PSB7, and it was very affordable to me. I have a basically Bluetooth speaker that I just plug into the headphone jack, and it does not work in my house because I practice protection. But if I take it on a case, this thing gets so chatty, it's funny. Not funny, but...
Well, the last case we were on is a prime example of your spirit box and very validated communication.
Yes, and the client had a loved one come through and talk directly to her, and she was very taken back by that. But what this does, when I power it on, I can select AM or FM and then do a sweep, and I can adjust the sweep rate. Well, it picks up on the white noise, and I mean that's basically what it is. It's white noise. I have never gotten this thing to actually pick up a radio, so it's not like a survival radio to where if there's like a mass power outage, I can't, open this and use it as a radio. It does not function in that way. So I believe because it does not function as a radio, that I'm not getting snippets of a radio broadcast, because never once have I been able to tune in to, 97.3 or 107.7, which those are both radio stations that come in crystal clear if I'm sitting in my car in my driveway. This is not, of that type of device. It's not that kind of device. So it just does sweeps. And I have picked up full sentences. I've picked up very loud names. I can distinguish a male from a female and even children on this. So,
and just to clarify, because a lot of the spirit boxes in PS7.
PSB7.
There you go. Yeah. So what they do is scan radio frequencies. Now, with the executioner's box, the way it was designed, it goes reverse. So where the argument a lot of skeptics have with spirit boxes is you're actually picking up snippets of radio stations.
Yes.
Now, David Miller created David Miller created the executioner's box, but he did it reversed. So you're not going to pick up radio frequencies. Well, you will, but you won't pick up snippets because it's actually scanning reversed. So if you actually pick up voices, they're not going to be snippets of radio. Which is why, do some research, figure out what spirit app or spirit box you like, and go from there. But again, any spirit box needs to be validated and vetted. And again, when Megan and I were on this case recently, it was, hands down, when you can see the client's face and they're surprised by what comes through this box, it's working right. So again, we do plan on doing some higher tech, getting some higher tech, and seeing what comes through it. Because it'd be great to have Bigfoot show up on an EMF meter. It'd be great to have Bigfoot come through a spirit box. It would just be great to shake Bigfoot's hand. I mean, face it.
Maybe. He might crush your hand.
Well, the kids just watched Terry and the Hendersons the other day, and yeah, I like that.
Remember what he did to their ceiling?
I know it, but that was an accident. Now, and Joe just, So Joe's in the chat, and he says he always plays the radio so the Bigfoot and the deer and the foxes and all the rest of the critters can hear it. Bigfoot loves music. So our FMP Bigfoot specialist on the team is Larry Anderson. He's been Bigfooting up here for about 35 years. And he told us a story on here on S-4, I guess last year, that there's a guy, he went up in the middle of nowhere, up in the woods, not to even Bigfoot, not to do anything. He just went out to play his guitar. And he was sitting there playing his guitar. You know, he played for a couple hours. He packed up, he went home. He came back up to the same spot the next day, and there was a pile of flowers left right where he was playing. Bigfoot actually gifted him flowers. That tells me right there, Bigfoot likes music, you know. Also getting to the Bigfoot knocks you hear. I've heard different tones. You know, the first time I heard Bigfoot knocks was about 2014. We were hunting. We were out deer hunting up on the mountain behind the house. And we walked down a trail, and we stopped because there was a tree in the way. But we could see everything in front of us. And we turned around to leave, and we heard 3 knocks. And I get asked, well, you sure it wasn't a woodpecker? Well, you can tell the difference between a woodpecker and a Bigfoot knock, believe me. And I looked at my buddies and like, that sounded just like what they say and what I've heard on, you know, radio shows and whatnot of what a Bigfoot knock sounds like. Let's go check it out. We dropped our packs. We went right over to where we heard these knocks, and it was all pine needles. So there, you know, there's no way there could be a track or a Bigfoot print or nothing. But we saw this log sitting there like it had been dropped, and say again. Okay, I thought someone said something.
Yeah, it almost sounded like Michael. Did he cut out?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. But you know, we looked for like 5-10 minutes for this for any kind of sign, and we went back to our packs, put them back on, took one, you know, lifted our feet to take one step away, and it did it again. Like, oh, yeah, like yeah, he was mocking us. But that was my first Bigfoot knock encounter, and I've heard several since. But last year, actually it was May of last year, because our scientist, Eric Markham, flew here from North Carolina for his birthday, and he heard his first Bigfoot knock right here in the gravel pit behind my house. But this time, it made different tones. It was like a boom, 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 just like that. It was weird. He looked at me and he said, "Oh my God, was that a Bigfoot knock?" I was like, I can't think of anything else that could have been. There's nothing else that makes that kind of a noise. And so, I mean, he was thrilled, but that was the first time I've heard them actually make different tones. And we have Joe in the chat room asking, have you ever really listened to that, like that little blip that just happened? And
okay,
no.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was aliens.
All right, Giorgio. And I'm not sure, again, bear with me, folks.
Joe, you can't delete your questions. We saw it.
Right? So, yeah, his point was, have we ever listened to the show and heard voices that weren't one of us? You know what? No, I haven't. I've had weird things happen. I've had us talk about really deep conspiracies, and all of a sudden all the phones cut out. I've had things like that happen.
Yes, I have that happen all the time. Also, I have had voices come through the phone, and I have heard it on my end, and the other person swears there was no interference. And I have made out a few words from those type of experiences. And what's really weird is that little blip that just happened. It almost sounded like it said Michael. So to me, that's what I heard. That's why I was like, was that Michael? Like Michael saying Michael? Like,
oh my
yeah,
God.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it at all, so I don't even know what you guys are talking about, but that is interesting. It said my name.
well, and what's I'm sorry, but I'm sitting here with